Congress takes a fresh look at a drilling technique that's raised safety concerns. Today, lawmakers will hear from experts on the issue. Tensions rise as a British oil company starts drilling for oil in South America. And is global warming worsening hurricanes? Top researchers say the debate is settled.
From the Energy News Center in Washington, D.C., this is the Energy Report with Susan McGinnis.
Good morning, I'm Susan McGinnis. Thanks for joining us for the Energy Report on this 22nd day of February 2010. Lawmakers are back in Washington now. One big focus, natural gas drilling, in particular, hydraulic fracturing. Experts from Cornell University and New York State officials will brief congressional staff this morning on this drilling technique, where water and chemicals are injected into the ground to break up rock formations holding natural gas. They will look at potential environmental, community, and economic effects of horizontal drilling and fracking in the Marcellus Shale. That's a reserve that extends through New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia. House Energy and Commerce Chairman Henry Waxman announced last week that his committee will investigate this practice. Waxman says he launched that probe after learning that two companies, Halliburton and BJ Services, may have injected hundreds of thousands of gallons of diesel-based fluids into the ground, violating voluntary agreements between the companies and EPA. BJ Services tells the committee the incidents were isolated and it's working to avoid more violations. Halliburton says it's used diesel fluids in cases that were not covered by EPA deals. Well, oil's rally continues into its fourth week, rising near $80 a barrel this morning as investors expect the Federal Reserve to keep interest rates low, which could boost consumption of crude oil. The price was below $70 at the beginning of February. Low interest rates and stimulus spending could also help weaken the dollar. That could further underpin prices. Taking a look at where prices are right now, we have crude up 11 cents at $80.17 a barrel on the NYMEX. Natural gas trading at $4.89 per thousand cubic feet on the Henry Hub. That's down 15 cents. And just as prices begin to bounce back from recession, two oilfield services companies are merging in an $11 billion deal. Industry leader Schlumberger has agreed to buy Smith International. Analysts say that Schlumberger is expanding its portfolio with Smith's leading positions in fluids and drill bit technology. That puts it in a better position to compete with its main U.S. rival Halliburton. Schlumberger reported profits of just more than $3 billion on $22.7 billion in revenue in 2009. Smith earned about $1 billion on revenue of $8.2 billion last year. New tensions arise between Great Britain and Argentina as a British oil company starts drilling for oil off of a disputed territory. Desire Petroleum says its rig is inside British waters near the Falkland Islands. Argentina disagrees. It says its territorial waters extend well beyond the archipelago to the edge of the underwater continental shelf more than 1,200 miles away. The UN is calling on a dialogue between the two countries. They have fought over control of the islands for nearly 200 years, magnified during a bloody war in 1982. Under fire by the Sierra Club and others, the state of Wisconsin says it will take action to install more pollution controls, cut down on coal use, even possibly shut down 5 coal plants. The state's Department of Administration announced these plants in question are at the Mendota Mental Health Institute in Madison and UW campuses in Eau Claire, La Crosse, Oshkosh, and River Falls. This comes as the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources notified DOA that 5 other plants were not in compliance with Clean Air Act regulations and 5 others need further review. Governor Jim Doyle's office says he will fix this problem and do it quickly. While some states offer incentives for wind developers to move in, Wyoming wants the industry to ante up. The state's House of Representatives passed a bill that would impose a $1 per kilowatt-hour tax on wind energy production. The estimated $4 million in revenue raised a year would be divided between the counties where the wind projects are located and the state. Executive Director of the Wyoming Power Producers Coalition, Cheryl Riley, says the tax may scare off developers, especially when other states are creating incentives to lure wind projects and jobs in. Supporters, including the governor, say the tax offers a rare opportunity to diversify Wyoming's tax base. The bill now goes to the Senate. If passed, it would go into effect in 2012. Well, science has been split over whether global warming is worsening hurricanes and will continue to do so. The debate seems to be settling, though. Top researchers agree the world will get fewer but stronger hurricanes in coming years, thanks to global warming. In a new study, a World Meteorological Organization panel of 10 experts on hurricanes and climate change reached consensus, published in the journal Nature Geoscience. The study projects that there will be 6 to 34% fewer tropical cyclones worldwide by the end of the century, but their strength would rise 2 to 11% because of warming. One professor at MIT says an 11% increase in strength means a 60% increase in damage. A former FEMA director says the study should be a stern and stark warning that America needs to be better prepared and protected from the devastation that these kinds of hurricanes produce. Let's take a look now at some energy goings-on around the Beltway today. At 10 a.m., Cornell University hosts a congressional briefing at the Capitol Visitor Center on natural gas extraction by hydrofracking in the Northeast and the potential environmental impact. Clean Skies News will be there. At noon, ACCO and BNA hold a webcast discussion on climate change impacts and the Security and Exchange Commission's recent climate ruling. Also at noon, NEI is hosting a luncheon where educational and industry leaders discuss the Nuclear Energy Workforce Training Partnership. That's the Energy Report. Thanks for joining us here in the Energy News Center. For any suggestions or comments about our programming here on Clean Skies News, we'd like to hear from you. You can email us at contact@cleanskies.com. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook, too. I'm Susan McGinnis. You're watching Clean Skies News.